Hi, I'm Penn Teller, the one with the hat, standing there with my partner Teller, the one with the hat. We've come to India to explore the legend of the Indian rope trick. But there's more to India than the rope trick. In theory, fire walking is easy with dry feet and coals burned to ash. That's the theory. I sent Teller first. Is it okay? he's not showing it. You know, I'm not a god man. I don't believe in superstition. I'm just a magician from Vegas. It didn't hurt at all.
It's Penn and Teller. They're on the road together, but their magic carpet's just a dirty rug. So long, Las Vegas, they'll go someplace contagious and get infected by the magic bug. Around the world, down exotic streets, to gaze upon amazing and disgusting feats. Adventure calls, have you got the cups and balls to stomach blood and guts and gore and more? Come join them as they travel and the mysteries unravel on the Magic and Mystery Tour.
We're in India, one of the few places on earth that still has real street magicians doing real street magic. It's also home of the most famous magic act, the Indian rope trick, where a rope just goes right up in the air, snakes its way up, little kid climbs up, vanishes, magician climbs after him, slices him up, and then throws him back down, and little pieces all come back together. So it's probably not true, but we're going to be looking for it. You know, I'm thinking bacon cheeseburger. We're not the first to come looking for the Indian rope trick. I'll tell you, show English people a piece of rope, they go nuts. They look how excited they are about that. Teller saw the cheat right away. When the rope flies up, the film is just being played in reverse. And behind it is a big old steel pole. The British officer who filmed this in the 1930s searched India for 2 years with no luck before he gave up and staged this scam rope trick. The legendary rope trick features a child being sliced up, but that's never been filmed, only reported. We believe it's just a myth, but we wanted to figure out how that myth came to be. Our guide to India is Professor Lee Siegel. Teller loved his book on Indian street magic and asked Lee to meet us in New Delhi, India's capital. The main character in the book is Nasib Khan. Lee began studying Nasib's show over 10 years ago. Nasib has the best act in town. It's our kind of show, a bloody, gory show, a life and death drama. As Lee explains,
I think the way to understand an Indian magic show is as a show, as a play. And what always in a way dazzles me more than any of the individual scenes or tricks is the way we start out with some sort of conflict between father and son played for laughs. But it's that transition from funny into horror. And then out of that horror, some sort of resurrection. And when they're scary, and when Nasib's eyes are burning furiously, he's scary, and he's a very good actor. This show has its origin in the guy who is selling his powers.
The cutting up and restoration of Nasib's son's tongue is bloody. It reminds us of the myth about the boy being sliced up in the rope trick. Only money from the audience will bring his son back to life. Then Nasib sells lucky rings to people who just might believe he has real magic powers. Lee took us to meet other street magicians. If anyone's going to know about the rope trick, it's these guys. They all live in Shadapur, a makeshift housing colony next to a southern Delhi bus depot. Shadapur is one of the poorest areas in Delhi, but the cream of India's magicians live here. In India, street magicians belong to a gypsy caste. Families traditionally traveled to wherever there was a crowd with money. Only in the last 50 years have the wandering magicians settled down, and now they've formed their own magicians' union, with all Delhi street magicians living in an area that's just 400 square yards. Well, it ain't the Teamsters.
Hi.
We were honored guests.
Thanks. I'm Chan Pasha.
Yeah, salam alaikum. Sagal Baba. Hindi Sunni. Salam.
Hope this chair holds me. This will hold my weight.
Yeah, sure.
No song.
The head of the Magicians Union is Chan Pasha. Chan Pasha is, a different kind of leader.
Shabbat.
Thank you. Very hard. Tight. Tight. Again. Again one more. Tight. 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 Big tight. Okay? Thank you. Thank you. This is checking to place. This is loose. Check. No? You checking? Yes. Okay, tight, hard.
Tight and hard.
Yeah.
This is nut. This side. You checking to place nut, yeah?
Yep, there's a knot.
Yes? You checking? Okay, looking. I am talking 1, 2, 3. This is not disappear, okay? Beggy, and gingerly. This is not disappear, okay? Checking.
Shabbat.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Doing it just once like that makes it such a more powerful event to just do it on top of each other than just have that in your hand and then vanish. It's a much more miraculous trick. The way I've seen it before has always been a little smarmy and condescending. You know, you can't even tie a knot type thing.
Right.
Whereas this was presented as a miracle, which I think is much stronger.
Yeah.
And it's just a handkerchief, like all their props.
Yeah.
They're just stuff they handle.
Looking, this is Indian basket. This is one empty, 3. Huh? Okay, this is my boy. This is here. Okay? Okay.
Chan Pasha finished with one of the oldest tricks in India.
Okay, thank you. Shabash. This is one. This is one cloth. Empty. Shabash. क्या मौके का काम करने के लिए? Shabash. Very good. This is my boy. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Go. Maldi, सीखने रखे बच्चे. One hand, one finger. This is my boy, small boy, going, looking. 1, 2, and 3. This is. I am going this side. Very tight. Small basket. This is my boy. Looking. Disappear. Shabash. Very
The boy
good, very
disappeared. Chan Pasha restored him unharmed.
No problem.
It's the mythical rope trick's simple cousin. No blood, but the same idea. That's great.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's amazing. That's a good trick. That's why people do it. That trick is done all the time in the States, lousily.
Yeah,
Just a
and
great
again,
trick.
clearly a very old trick that would have been done for hundreds or perhaps thousands of years.
The kid doesn't look that old either.
No.
The Magicians Union includes jugglers. Next on the bill, Ram Prasad, a spinning top juggler.
Nice. रुक इधर है ये रुका है चल अरे रुक जा चल लकड़ी अरे कान पकड़ स्टार्ट अरे घुसा देगा चल लकड़ी अरे रुक लकड़ी चल लड़की लकड़ी अरे वाह
different names.
लकड़ी बंद है लट्टू चल रहा है
That's great. I loved this guy and wanted to talk to him, but we couldn't with the racket downstairs. Puppet people. I hate puppet people. That's wonderful. Wonderful. We'll be back in a couple years to see more of the puppets. We went to see Naseeb's show at the Red Fort in the heart of Old Delhi. His act features mutilating and restoring his sons. Once again, echoes of the bloody rope trick stories.
It's so cool that we're going to get to see this here.
The Red Fort was a king's palace. Magicians have always performed here.
And you know it's a magician because when it's a bear guy or a snake guy, it's a circle. Whereas with the magician, he's got the oval because of the two characters.
The two characters are Naseeb and his eldest son, Ayasan. They sit at either end of an oval.
Stage.
The oval shape helps with misdirection, essential when you're totally surrounded by the crowd. Naseeb draws a crowd with some sleight of mouth tricks. For the steel balls trick, Naseeb swallows the first ball, then coughs up many more and throws them to his sons. Even Teller couldn't keep his eye off the ball. That's good misdirection. It has to be. The crowd only pay Naseeb if they stay till the end of the show. Next come mouthfuls of sharp thorns.
Again, always that movement from the benign to the slightly disgusting. And scary.
That's a lot of thorns. But before the good bloody part, the show's interrupted by the police. Our translator Chips goes with Lee to explain that it's all okay.
We've already worked this out.
We have Lee is trying to convince the police that we do have the proper permits and he can perform, and doesn't look like he's getting anywhere. And meanwhile, the show just goes on. The Indian authorities associate the low-caste magicians with street crime, not entertainment. Psychedelic candle
be over here. Hey guys,
How you doing? Good to see you again. What was up there? What was going on? Does that happen often to you?
हाँ ये रोज की कहानी ऐसा ही होता है कि जैसे हम यहाँ करते हैं
This is
लाल
a very common thing for him that wherever they put up a show, sometime during the show somebody will come and disrupt the show. usually the police or something, and usually what he's trying to say is they're not gentle. They always come and try to give them a rap or push them off with force.
Now, were they worse because we were there?
इनके होने से हमारी मार बचती है। अगर ये नहीं होते तो मारपीट ज़्यादा होती।
What he's saying is, because of the fact that you were there and because of the fact that there was something going on, that is exactly why they did not get beaten up. Otherwise, it's
They
just...
would have beaten you if it hadn't been for the camera. The revolution would have been televised.
Yeah, it was because of you being there that the force was, kept aside.
Now, you didn't get a chance to sell your ring, so you didn't make money off that show. Is that right?
It's just that even if the cops find any money lying with them in their pocket, they take that away from them also.
Oh, man.
Forget about earning anything else.
You got to get your broken camera to carry around.
If you put a fake camera or a broken camera and they make out that it's fake or broken, they'd probably put a case number 420 from the Constitution and put them into jail for 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so it was a bad idea. I was just blue skying. With you. See what I can come up with at the top of my head. Teller and I started out doing magic on the streets, but not in India.
We performed in Philadelphia, in the U.S. mostly, and it's illegal there. So we had to also deal with peace officers on the beat, but we dealt with them by being friendly and getting them to like us. There were never any actual bribes. They would talk to us after a show and say, you can't work here, but they never broke up our show. And the other chilling thing is, of course, they would never consider or even threaten to beat us, whereas Naseeb said that thing that just made my heart skip, where he said if we weren't there, they would have beaten him. So certain things are universal and certain things are very country-specific in the street performing scam.
Naseeb hadn't told us anything about Indian magicians actually performing the rope trick, so we went back to Shadipur. Magic rings have not brought luxury to Naseeb's family. He, his wife, his children, and their wives and children live in this small space when they're in Shadipur.
Naseeb Saab. Naseeb. Penn Teller.
How you doing? Shadipur is built for normal-sized magicians. This ladder is not going to hold me, but here we go. Told you. I'm 6'6" and I weigh 278 pounds. After the ladder incident, I'm going to sit over here on the cement. I'm sorry about your ladder. Teller got down to business right away.
Shabash.
We wanted to show our respect for Naseeb, so Teller made a prop for him in our workshop in Las Vegas. He said it would come in handy. Chips, tell him that it might be better to use that on his child's neck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so
See the kind of father Teller would be? Teller would be a great father. Fit right into him. Yeah. He took naturally to that slicing off the head of a child, didn't he? He's like a duck to water. A demon barber of Shadipur. Teller.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Naseeb liked the blood in our little magic show. I got to climb up over the. I'm going to take the Batman route. He told us that blood worked in his show. Then he said he'd take us to see his nephew, Isamuddin. Isamuddin was trained by Naseeb and claims to perform the Indian rope trick. As you see, Naseeb magically mended my pants. Magically.
Hello.
To get there, we had to pass the puppets again. I hate puppet people. The route winds through a maze of tents and perpetually half-finished entertainers' homes. We weren't prepared for what we saw around the next corner. Chips told us about the animal handlers. Performing animals like these are now illegal in India, so the beasts are kept tethered to the ground. The conditions are grim. In Shadapur, every corner holds a new surprise. The next one was Isamuddin.
Isamuddin, who used to work as his assistant, a very young, small assistant, better known in Hindi as his Jamura. And he works out, as he told me on the way, he's his nephew.
Well, it's the last thing we expect to find here is another magician in a suit. Oh, sit down here.
First, today my father will perform for you. He will show you some Indian traditional magic.
And you do a little more Western magic than traditional, or?
No, I don't want to do Western magic anymore because I want to do my own traditional magic. And I want to develop my own magic, which is my family profession. And it is our very typical Indian magic.
ताली बजा देना अब देखो हम इसको खा जाते
Isamuddin's father, Manoj Khan, had taught Naseeb. He came out of retirement for us.
हाथ बंदे खोल देना
We've been told you're going to be doing some magic for us, is that right?
Yes, I'm going to perform the Great Indian Rope Trick for you.
Oh, really?
So I will try to do my best for you, and I hope you will like my magic.
And where are you going to do the rope trick?
I will do it in behind of Taj Mahal in Agra.
Oh, good. Well, we look forward to seeing it. The famous Indian rope trick. There's the guy that's going to do it. So we finally found an Indian magician who does the rope trick, and he'll do it for us at the Taj Mahal in the city of Agra. Shadapur. I'd never been to a place like that, and I've seen stuff like that, slums on TV, where you're seeing Shadapur as well, and being there with that the filth of the water and the flies and the misery. And it wasn't just a field trip to see, how bad poverty can get. It was that these were magicians, people we knew, people we liked, people we saw doing shows, and they have all this incredible culture. And I would trade, of course, all the culture for one clean bathroom and a flush toilet. But seeing them living like that was very sobering. Except the puppet people, and they deserve to live like that all over the world. While we waited for Isamuddin's rope trick, we went to see Ayasan perform. He's Naseeb's eldest son and heir to the inventory of rings. We needed to understand why people buy the rings. There's nothing Teller and I hate more than magicians who claim supernatural powers. Well, except puppet people. Ayasan's show is bloody and again has elements of the rope trick. The boy, the violence, the resurrection. But no rope, only a monkey skull. Tetanus is the least of his worries.
हाथ अलग कर देना मेरे बाप हाथ नहीं बांधना यार ये मर जाएगा बच्चा ये परेशान हो जाएगा मरे मत 10 रुपए का रंग लगा लो अपने हाथ पे लाके अगर रंग को लगा के ना ऐसे हटा के बताओगे मैं जिंदगी
It looked like real blood. The audience was hooked, and so were we.
जाने की सोच रहा है कि चला जाऊंगा अपने हाथ में निकाल लेना 10 रुपया सब आदमी ऐसे पकड़ना निकाल के अभी रगड़ रहा है सोच रहा है कि दूं के नहीं दूं ये गर्दन है ना, इसकी यहाँ रख दूंगा निकाल के, फिर बाद में जांच हो जाएगी, देख लो।
There was a lot of
सुनो बेटा,
just
एक
brute
मिनट,
force.
Yeah, and tear.
Yeah, I would say that in the U.S. that audience participation would be called assault and battery. It would be both.
स्पेस फ्री कोई पैसा नहीं। एक पत्थर एक दुआ पे स्टैम्प।
The knife was taken out. Samjad had his life magically restored, and Ayasan began the ring selling.
से कैसे रखा जाएगा?
Is Ayasan just exploiting his audience's fears?
ऐसे दबा के देखना जनाब निकल जाएगा ये।
It seemed a bit too close to some religious con. Surely they were buying the rings out of fear. It didn't feel quite right, so I asked Lee about it. Did they really believe?
एक अच्छी बात सोच के
You know, he's made it clear to him that it isn't that great power, that it's a good luck charm.
Right, so they're not really believing this is going to solve their problems.
They hope it'll help.
But they hope it'll help.
Yeah, you know.
When the expensive rings came out, it looked like a few superstitious types were going to be swindled out of some serious coin. But Teller and I were sucked in by the blood. We arranged with Lee to help Nassib in his next show. Teller does Delhi. We traveled across Delhi to the affluent Khan Market area where Nassib was performing. Teller and I were to play tourists watching the show. My role was the loud American. I'm trying to stretch. No one would suspect we were in cahoots with Nassib. After Teller had merged in as a tourist, I quietly approached the scene. What's going on? Shooting a movie or something? Hey, Coach Cheeks! What's the act here? What's the deal? Hey! What are you, a snake charmer? You snake charmer?
Oh, look, my clever nephew seems to have turned up.
Hey, what's funny? Where's your bed of spikes? You got a snake? Gonna play a flute? What are you doing?
He thinks that he's wiser than me.
You magician? Jadoo! You got a tiger? I want to see a tiger. Okay, go on with your act. Don't mind me.
He doesn't understand what we're doing. What a complete idiot.
Don't mind me. Just carry on.
His brain's so far from the ground that there's no oxygen getting up there. Stand back, stand back. You know where you should stand.
A sip from a soft drink can full of fake blood was the cue for Nassib to throw a curse at me, but hit Teller instead.
His voice cut out. You will never speak again.
You just take him to doctor.
Nassib made more money on account of cursing some foreigners. Teller and I got a kick out of it at the time, but we didn't feel so happy on reflection. There's so many cultural differences to try to absorb between their style of performing and ours that I think we get a little bit misdirected. I mean, the father and son thing is fabulous, how these kids start working on the street when they're 4 or 5 years old. So we like Nassib. He's a good guy. He welcomed us to his home. He's one of the reasons we're here because of his relationship with Lee. But, you know, I think a lot of people are believing the jive about the magic rings. And I think they are buying that kind of good luck. And we couldn't help but having the kind of disquieting thoughts after we left that if he were an American, working for an American crowd, doing that same level of false information about the world and religion and so on, we'd be fighting him tooth and nail. Nassib's act always has his son, some miracles, and some blood. Maybe over time, parts of different tricks were blended together to form the story of the Indian rope trick. Isamuddin's rope trick at the Taj Mahal was a few days away, so we headed 914 miles east to Calcutta in West Bengal. It was Bengali magicians who performed the first reported rope trick 1,200 years ago. Look at this. Just stop, train, pull, chain. It rhymes. Penalty for use without reasonable and sufficient cause, fine up to 1,000 rupees. Now, 1,000 rupees is about $22. If we pull that chain, the whole train stops, and we have a lot of fun. I think we have more than $22 worth of fun just like that. And also, what does it mean, reasonable and sufficient cause? Isn't shenanigans reasonable and sufficient? Oh, man. We would get so yelled at, but it would be so fun. As we traveled, we had some time to think about the Shadipur magicians. They led us into the culture of Indian magic and made us feel a part of their magicians' community. We saw Shadipur as more than a slum. Not quite Vegas, but still a magician's town. Calcutta, 12 million people in gridlock. We needed a guide. Well, here we are in Calcutta. We're about to meet our translator, who is also a bit of a magician. And he told us to meet him here, and that he'd be all ready for us, and that we should keep our eye out for a car. Of course, this isn't a road, it's a sidewalk, but, well, oh, there's a car up there. Well,
hello.
Are you Paul?
Yeah.
So you're our translator?
Yes. I'm doing the cut on head trick. Can somebody move the jack and help me up?
Oh yeah, get the jack for him. So what do you got to show us here in Calcutta? Here.
I'm going to take you around Calcutta, and we're going to see some tent magician and.
Okay, great. That's terrific. We gotta get back to the hotel. Meet us tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Bye. Thank you. Hello. Should I stay here? Hello.
Eventually, Paul called. Our guide, come translator, come magician, said to meet him in a field where we'd see traditional magic by a Bengali family. Our magician shared some heritage with Naseeb. His show is a dark festival of blood, a demonstration of magicians' power over life and death. The show's roots are in the ancient magic of Bengal, where magic is said to have first appeared in India. Every act seemed to involve the magician inflicting cruelty on a member of his family. It's fun, gruesome stuff. Take the thread of the god Brahma. An assistant eats a piece of cotton and has it cut and sucked from his stomach. But that's not all. Head's on fire. It's a wonderful thing. The skewers are a play on the ascetic devotion of Hindu holy men. To do this, you would have to be devoted, or a relative. The climax of the show is twin wild men, who could be controlled only by the magician. Some sort of tug of war with wild men in the middle. He's eating a chicken. I held a guy on a rope while he ate a chicken raw. Another guy ate a pigeon. I had him on a rope. These guys are on my side. This is nutty. After the show, the magician wanted to tell us about all 12 of his cast members. All we cared about were the wild men.
It's always the ending of the show.
Always.
Always the ending.
You don't want to follow that wild man thing.
Yeah.
Now what are you going to bring out after that? A ventriloquist? No. Once you got the wild man, you're out.
Yeah.
Where'd you get your wild man?
Oh, yeah, the two wild men were his son-in-laws. His brother-in-laws. Sorry.
Your brother-in-laws.
Yeah, brother-in-laws. So,
yeah, you know, I'm in that same position. My brother-in-law is a wild man as well. It's your daughter that you set her head on fire, right?
My wife. Oh, that's his wife.
Oh, your wife. Oh, if you burn your wife's head.
Yeah.
Your brother-in-laws eat raw chickens and snakes, and your little brother gets skewers through his cheeks. It's the Indian nuclear family. I know that some crybabies in the West are going to be upset by them ripping apart live birds with their teeth, and some would say that you could rationalize it by saying that it's a different culture. We have to accept that, but I don't think that's the way to rationalize it. It's a goddamn chicken! Toughen up! It's just a chicken! How many chickens are killed a day in just the UK? Self-righteous son of a bitch. It's just a chicken! After the Wild Men's crazy show, there was a bit of time to calm down. From the Bengal countryside, we were to travel to Agra, to the Taj Mahal, to Isamuddin's rope trick. There's only one way to arrive for a performance of the Indian rope trick behind the Taj Mahal. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but we're in India now. The Indian elephant, the Cadillac of beasts of burdens. Well, I still like maybe the Indian elephant, the Cadillac of the Indian elephant, the Winnebago of beasts of burden. The shuttle, the space shuttle of the Atlantis of beasts of burden. Beasts of burdens. We brought a bell for the local temple to thank the villagers for letting Isamuddin perform here. That was graceful, wasn't it? How do you get down from an elephant? You don't get down from an elephant, you get down from a duck. Oh, here we are.
So you hold it. It is the rope, and you can feel it anything inside. No?
Real rope.
Real rope. It is a sailor's rope. Okay?
Yes, it is. Real rope, real hemp.
This is here. Thanks. Now you give me this, and now you will stand at your place. Thank you. Thank you very much.
The Indian rope
And
trick.
अभी
We're going to watch it from over here
ये है मेरे पास.
with y'all.
ये हमारे पास एक खाली बास्केट है. ये खाली.
Remember, the traditional trick has the magician chase a boy up the rope. He chops the boy to pieces, they fall to the ground, then he reassembles the parts, bringing him back to life.
इसके अंदर मैंने रख दिया यहाँ पर, और सब अच्छे देखिएगा और सब लोग देखिएगा यहाँ से जादू कैसे होता है, और सब लोग देखिएगा. This is here and something will happen. निवाल थोड़ी सी फर्जी. रुक जाओ. ये है हमारे पास ये एक रोप छोटा सा. ये रोप जो है इधर हमने इधर इसके अंदर से चलाया था, और आप देखिएगा ये इसको कहते हैं इंडियन रोप ट्रिक. ये इस तरह से, और इसको फिर मैंने वापस यहीं पे रखा खुले. भाई वाह, ये इतना है. इसके अंदर थोड़ा मिट्टी लग गया, लेकिन मिट्टी को जो है हम इधर से हटा देंगे इसको वापस, और वापस रखने के बाद इसको हम यहाँ से और चला देंगे.
Then, in the middle of the trick, at a crucial point, something went wrong. The rope didn't reappear.
ये हो गया. चलो.
We waited. Teller tried to keep the crowd occupied. We feared the great Indian rope trick would lose some of its splendor in the dark. Well, being a street magician is not easy. Over there you see some panicked performers trying to fix a trick that didn't work. Over there you see the sun setting in the west. Time is running out. Just when it all seemed too late, the trick was back on. We saw the rope, but we were still hoping the boy would get chopped up and put back together, of course.
ये बच्चा इसके ऊपर चढ़ेगा. सीधा ही पकड़ना. और चढ़ो, ऊपर चढ़ो. भाई वाह, चढ़ो ऊपर और चढ़ो. बस. So this is the Indian rope trick. बच्चे नीचे आ जाओ. और ये आवाज के साथ जाएगा. आप देखिए, बच्चे गिरा दो इसको.
Well, there it is. There's a version of the Indian rope trick in front of the Taj Mahal. It's just great the way the kid climbs up and it's solid. And then the fall at the end is what killed me. Very nice fall at the end. Okay, we'd done all our research. All the clues we'd seen, all the mystic stuff they peddle over here, it all came together. While Isamuddin performed a great modern version of the rope trick, the traditional rope trick is a myth. It never happened. It's an amalgam of many of the tricks we've seen here in India. It was time for Penn Teller's Indian rope trick. Our plan is to make people believe the traditional rope trick is real. This is complicated, so listen up. We set up the Penn Teller version of the trick in a Delhi courtyard. The idea is for Teller and I to find a couple of tourists on a nearby street and convince them to come with us to see the trick so we can get their reactions for a documentary film. Ihor, Peter, and I go out. But the trick will never really happen. We're just setting it up so it looks like it just did. At that time, you will run in right into the shot and say they're doing the rope trick, they've already started. The crew's job is to make like we screwed up and just miss the shot as we run in with the tourists to find the end of the trick playing out. Chips is in here with Indian extras who are playing along with us. We even recruited a bunch of locals to pretend they just witnessed the trick. And our boy, all set to go, Nate. We choreographed every detail, down to the chopped up boy, blood dripping from his rejoined limbs. That's all we need. That's it. Okay, here goes. My name is Penn. This is my partner Teller. We're Penn and Teller magicians.
Oh yeah.
And we're doing a show on the Indian rope trick. Have you heard of the Indian rope trick?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. I've seen it before on the TV, but I've never seen it done live.
Never seen it live. This is a trick where the rope goes in the air, boy scampers up. Right on cue. The crew ran in to tell us the trick had started. We're going. Let's go. We going? Go. Just go. Just go. You're. It's working. It's working.
ओ बच्चे अपने जगह पे रहना कोई बंदा पीछे पैर नहीं करना अपने मुकाम पे खड़े रहकर देखना अली मस
The whole thing?
He's saying that in all my 80 years of living, I have never seen a show like this before.
It was incredible. I don't even want to know how it was done. It was
the tourists bought it.
Experience that I have had in India.
It was amazing. They truly believe they missed a performance of the great Indian rope trick.
The rope trick stands for really all magic. And the more we trust in our logic and our powers of observation, the more easy we are to fool.
Our director's an asshole. That's why we missed it. He was out doing street shots.
People
were outside the courtyard asking to get in. Word the trick had been performed was getting around already, and even some locals believe that the rope trick had actually been performed. In order to do that Indian rope trick, we needed everybody involved, because that's what the Indian rope trick has to be. It has to be a story, and the only place the trick happens is in people's heads, which is the only place that the magic happens ever. Our myth-making worked.
I would bet anything that within a week, everyone will be saying the rope trick was performed here. Within a month, they'll be swearing to it. all the people who know they missed something are saying, what did I miss? And people are saying the rope trick. The prestige of being inside is so great that all the guys that weren't there are going to say, I saw with my own eyes, I was in. And
so the next documentary team that goes here will be coming here. And it's true. After we left the courtyard, all the local talk was of the Westerners who had finally filmed the legendary rope trick. But the real Indian magic's in Shadipur. The magic of Nasib, Shampasha, Isamuddin, all the cool tricks we saw came out of there. And the legend of the rope trick came from their ancestors, the original Indian street magicians. And Shadipur is where I first saw those spinning tops and found Ram Prasad, my spinning top guru. I asked Ram Prasad to make me a top, but he told me I'd have to accept him as my guru in a ceremony. What the hell?
This is great.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks again, my top guru in both senses.